Am I in the wrong for telling my boyfriend that I don't want his daughters in my apartment? I'm in a dilemma here because I know that people would think that I'm callous, but I don't think that I am. Give me your honest opinion. I, female 38, met my boyfriend, male 36, at a party 4 years ago and we hit it off immediately. I told him very on that I'm child-free because I know this is a turnoff for many men and I don't want to lead anybody on. After a month, he told me that he had 2 children, 11 and 12 now. I freaked out because I didn't know what to do. I liked him very much, but I didn't want to be a parental figure. He said that I didn't have to. He has shared custody with his ex, and me and him would meet the weeks that he doesn't have custody. Now, he basically lives in my place the weeks that his daughters are with their mother. We said we loved each other very early on, and we decided that this arrangement worked for us and to break up the moment that it didn't work anymore. I could see myself with him forever. I love him to bits. I love our life together. I love missing him when he's with his family. He proposed to me a month ago and I didn't know what he meant, but he said that we didn't need to get married, but he just wanted me to have a ring. I thought it was romantic. Anyway, a week later, he took his girls to my place for a weekend. His ex was sick and he didn't want the girls to get infected. I asked him if maybe he wanted to be with his daughters instead, but he said that he would miss me since it's our week. I said okay. I have met his girls on many occasions and they're lovely, so I had no problems more than I felt a bit awkward. Last week I got home and he had dropped his girls off in my apartment. They were in my closet trying on my heels and clothes. I was freaking out, so I called him. He said, yeah, change of plans. He and his ex switched, so the girls are staying with us. When he got home, I told him that I couldn't do this. If he was having problems with our arrangement, then I understand, but I still don't want children in my place. He called me an a-hole because his girls have done nothing and are polite, etc. He loves me and we're engaged. Did I expect us to have 2 separate lives when we're together for 4 years and love each other? I'm tired of men thinking that I don't really mean it when I say that I don't want children. I love him and I do want to be with him, and I see our future when his girls are old and left the home and we could live together and even get married. But I don't think that I'm being an a-hole. Yes, our way may be not traditional, but my love for him is not lesser for it. Am I in the wrong for not wanting my autistic cousin at my child-free wedding? Next spring, I'm getting married to the love of my life. We have decided that we don't want children at our wedding. Not many of our friends and family have young children, and the ones that do are fine with getting a sitter for the weekend since we gave them a lot of notice. The only ones to put up a fight are my aunt and uncle who have a daughter with autism. She's 20, but will be 21 by the time that my wedding comes around. She is what they call high functioning, which means that she can talk and wash and dress herself. And she has some friends. She graduated from high school a couple years ago and is currently living with her parents, while working at a grocery store. Despite her being technically an adult, I just don't see her as such. Every time I talk to her at a family gathering, it's like talking to a child. She's obsessed with toy ponies and Barbie dolls and brings them up at every opportunity. She draws in her notebook constantly and never makes eye contact when talking to me. She doesn't have loud meltdowns like other special needs kids that I've met before, but I really don't want to risk her ruining my special day. I told my aunt and uncle that I didn't want her there and they became very upset. They said that she already saw the invite and knew it was child-free, but because she's an adult, she thought that she's still included. My aunt tried to guilt me by saying that she'd already picked out a dress and gift, but I didn't want to hear it. My fiance says that I'm being an a-hole and that we should let her attend because she's attended other weddings before with no issue. Everyone is making me feel horrible for not treating her like an adult when she doesn't act like one. So, am I in the wrong? Am I in the wrong for doting on my buddy's pregnant wife? My best friend Chris and I are both expecting our first babies with our wives. My wife is 36-ish weeks pregnant and I believe Chris's wife, Polly, is somewhere around 28 weeks. Chris and I are very different in how we treat our wives with their pregnancies. Like, Chris still has Polly do a lot, whereas I will take the weight off my wife in literally any single possible way that I can, even small things. Mainly because I feel utterly useless and I don't want my wife straining herself to do things I could easily do myself while she's growing my baby and uncomfortable anyway. But I guess I messed up the other day. So Chris and Polly invited us out to their boat to go swimming and fishing. My wife was a bit uncomfortable because she's getting close to her due date and is just afraid of going into early labor, so her anxiety has been a bit heavier than usual. Well, Chris kept asking Polly to get up and do shit for him, and I would go right behind her and be like, no, sit down, I've got it. And essentially do the same thing I would do with my own wife. Well, there's a store along the lake that we stopped off at so I could grab some beers, and Polly asked me to grab her a few things. So I did, a mixture of both snacks and drinks, like 4 to 5 items. When I got back to the boat, my wife looked in the bag I got and was immediately pissed off and didn't talk to anyone for easily an hour. I had no idea why she was so upset, so when we stopped off and Chris and Polly jumped in to swim, I asked what was wrong and she's like, pretty effing pathetic, you get her literally everything she asked for and you couldn't even get me the one thing that I asked for. I told her that I didn't hear her ask for anything and she said, yeah, because you were so busy doting on someone else's pregnant wife that you couldn't pay attention to what your own wife was saying. I truly didn't hear her, but then Chris gets back to the boat a bit later and looks at my wife and says, where's your drink? And my wife just glared at me. So apparently my buddy heard my wife, but I didn't. which of course just adds fuel to my wife's anger because it looks really bad. I was right beside my wife and Chris was on the other side of the boat, so I should have heard her. Later on in the night, she told me that she's never been so uncomfortable in her life because Polly and Chris both noticed that I didn't get my wife the one thing that she asked for after getting Polly everything that she asked for, so it embarrassed her. And that she's not comfortable with me doting on Chris's wife at all, and that she doesn't want to hang out with them for a while because she's now insecure over this. I was just trying to be nice. So am I in the wrong here? Am I in the wrong for retiring and moving to South America like every single person in my family knew that I planned to do since I was 16? I, male 55, just pulled the pin on my retirement. I put in 33 years of work and I'm done. I bought property in South America 12 years ago and I have been building our retirement home down there. I have dual citizenship so I can own property without it being a hassle. The house was designed to be perfect for us. A small house for the caretaker and gardener and 34 different fruit trees. The bathroom is up to North American standards and the shower has grab bars and stuff already built in for when I'm old. Everything's on one level so there's no stairs. My wife helped by making suggestions to the design of the house and by taking care of decorating it. We've been vacationing there for 8 years now and renting it out when we aren't there for some extra money. We have hosted friends and family there both with us and on their own. My wife has now decided that she doesn't want to live there for 7 months of the year. We have grandkids now and she wants to be more involved with their lives. I love my kids and grandkids and my parents who also live up here, but I am done with winter. If I never see snow again, it'll be too soon. The house has guest rooms and flights are cheap. If they want to see me in the winter, they're welcome to come down. Plus, I'll be back in 5 months for the summer to do some contract work. My wife said that she didn't want to go down there this winter, and that's absolutely her right. I booked my flight for September and she asked me about the expense on the credit card. I said I was leaving for the winter like I had told everyone that I was planning to do. This is when she said that she didn't want to go this winter. Actually meant she didn't want us to go this winter. I said I was going and that I would see her in the spring unless she changed her mind and came down. Now her, my parents, and my kids are bugging me about leaving her alone for the winter, but it's 100% her choice. So am I in the wrong? Today I messed up by giving my girlfriend pepper spray that I no longer needed. The actual gift of giving happened about a month ago. I used to work for Uber part-time and would carry pepper spray on me to deal with crazies when and if the time would ever arise that I needed to. After I quit, I felt like I no longer needed it and gifted it to my girlfriend. She got extremely excited by this gift. I'm not sure why she was so excited, but she felt like this extreme empowerment by having it. Like she was invincible or something. As soon as she got it, she was outside testing it by spraying it on the ground, which I told her to test it, to make sure that it works. It says so directly on it. I had never done it myself. She used it twice and danced with glee, and then we went back inside and that was that. Over the next course of the month, she kept that thing on her like it was her only lifeline in the world. I was honestly kind of flattered that she loved my little $20 gift so much. It comes with a breakaway attachment to a keychain that is she fixed to her keys. We went downtown and some guy approached her when I was in the bathroom, and when I came outside, she's pointing it in his face like she's ready to end his retina's existence. It was extremely comical, until it wasn't. Alright, so last weekend, we're in the car and we have some friends with us. My girlfriend's in the passenger seat, my friend directly behind her, his girlfriend next to him in the center, and some guy that was introduced to us by my friend, let's call him Steve, directly behind me. We were on our way to an event downtown, and the guy Steve has a pretty big personality. You know, the type of guy that likes to put other people down to make himself feel better, or laugh at other people's expense. Well, my girlfriend has a bit of an explosive personality, and while she wasn't the target of his banter, she sure as shit wouldn't put up with it. I was the target, and while I won't go into too much detail of what was said, it was enough to set her off and pull out that handy dandy pepper spray I gifted her and set that shit off in his face. Well, fuck. We're in a car on the freeway, windows rolled up, and pepper spray going off adjacently behind me. I appreciate her attempt to white knight for me, but when I tell you everyone in the car was a victim, including herself, to the sheer magnitude of the stinging pain in my eyes. They immediately closed and I swerved off to the side of the divider. Luckily, I only grazed the divider wall, but we were all immediately out of the car, screaming, gasping, wiping our eyes. When I finally looked over at Steve, he was vomiting, and it literally looked like she dumped the can on his face. She's never getting a weapon again. I, 26 male, slept in the same bed as my mom, 49 female, while she was staying in town. My girlfriend, 24 female, finds it odd. My girlfriend and I have been dating for about 4 months now. My mom was coming into town and planned to stay with a friend of hers, but the train got delayed so late that the friend couldn't pick her up. I went to pick her up and she asked if she could stay the night at my apartment. I said yes, of course. This all happened when I was hanging out with my girlfriend. The conversation went like this. My girlfriend said, "Are you sleeping in the same bed as her?" "Yes." "That's weird." "What are you gonna do? Have sex with your mom? Don't you think that's weird?" "No. I don't know where this is coming from. It's just sleeping in the same bed. My mom and I have never had that type of relationship and it's gross that you would suggest that." My girlfriend said, "I don't know. It seems weird to me. My family has always been close. We are tighter knit than a lot of families and sometimes it can make people jealous of our kinship. We travel together all the time and get hotels with 2 queen beds where I would stay in the same bed as my sister, 22 female. I don't see sleeping in the same bed as a family member being weird. I would rather sleep in my bed than sleep on the couch or kick my mom onto the couch. Fast forward to today. She's still sending jabs through messages asking if my mom and I played footsies last night in bed and asking if I was going to change the sheets or if I preferred my mom's smell on them. I told her that the comments were making me uncomfortable and I'd prefer if they stopped. She then goes on to tell me that she's just not getting the clarity on how this relationship is any different from her ex's relationship with his mother, saying that her ex was very close with the mom and the mom did not like her at the end of the relationship, calling her explicit names and judging her from something that my girlfriend told her ex and her ex told the ex's mom. Something she won't tell me because it's the reason that it ended the past relationship. She also said the main reason that she's upset about this topic is the dynamic of the enmeshment was a horrible experience for her. I'm not sure of my girlfriend's relationship with her parents. We met on a dating app and we're learning as we go. It seems to me that their family is not as close as mine. Do you think it's the reason that she thinks it's weird? Is she intimidated or jealous of my mom? It seems like she wants me to distance myself from my mother to not be like her ex. All this to say, should I be worried about this from her? Is this a red flag? Storytime about when I messed up by accidentally giving a date DMT. I brought a Tinder date home last night. It was the first time that we met. Everything was pretty normal and we went back to my place and had a good time. We both had to work and we weren't really expecting to share the night. Bottom line being that she wasn't prepared to stay over. She asked me if I had any trees so that she could smoke before she heads out. I, from the bathroom around the corner, say, yeah, there's a pen in the drawer beside the bed. There are 2 pens in that drawer. I rarely ever use a DMT pen, so I momentarily forgot. Both look like that pens, except one is a fucking 5-MeO DMT pen, and when the light bulb went off, I shouted, wait, make sure it's the black pen. I'm shouting this while turning the corner. By the time that I get in the room, she had the pen blinking, maxed out, and let out a very loose, what the? For context, I take half of that to break through. She started pushing herself up against the wall like a scared little baby deer. I was like, oh fuck, this is not good. But it's kind of quick, so I'm thinking, okay, 10 minutes and some big feelings, she'll be fine. For the next couple minutes, she lies limp on the bed like a rag doll with intense, wide open eyes. For the next couple minutes, she, while naked, starts screaming, I am the portal! The following couple minutes, she was coming down and seemed confused, and then she broke into a huge crying fit. I'm thinking that the trip's over. Now comfort, explain, damage control. I tell her that she's okay now. Everything's okay. You used a DMT pen, not my dad pen. She cut me off with, I am God! This spooked the fuck out of me, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know what to do, so I just started shouting, stop, please wait, while she ran outside, still naked. I have lots of neighbors, nosy ones, and I'm chasing a naked woman asking her to stop. Not a good look. Eventually, she gets winded and lays on the grass, stares up and chants nonsense. I'm on the phone with paramedics at this point, and no surprise the cops are pulling up. I was extremely worried and told the exact truth. I live in Canada where these substances don't mean big legal trouble. The girl had a psychotic episode that was DMT induced, obviously. Apparently she came to her senses hours later but is still suffering from mental confusion. My neighbors probably think that I'm a rapist now.